Day 2 of Proudly South African's Buy Local Summit and Expo, which further explores the role that localization plays in building a resilient economy. Business reporter Ntokozo Khumalo is on the exhibition floor and joins us now. And Ntokozo, I know you're meeting a lot of entrepreneurs. Resilience is the key word, and they are encouraged to think about South Africa's problems in a different way.
Absolutely, Iman. And well, for me, the resilience here is mid-morning and the tummy's starting to grumble a little bit, and just my resilience to keep going. This is Mad Maxa, a black-owned energy drink that's based out of mainland Pretoria. So giving us just that little boost of energy to keep going through the day. It is tough to be an entrepreneur here, trying to network with other entrepreneurs, but also to attract that funding from the various investors that are also brought on here. But as you rightfully said, Iman, it's really about finding, solutions that are workable solutions for most South Africans, and that's really an entrepreneur's job. And I am with such entrepreneur, that's Thabo Mudau, who is the owner and director of Virgin Creatives. And you can see here the trolleys that we use to load water back in the day when people would be fetching it, specifically in the village areas and village communities. But this one enabling you to carry about 100 liters in the actual container here. And of course, that's dealing with some of those water scarcity issues that we do have in South Africa. Thabo, thank you so much for talking to us. Tell us a little bit about your business and what inspired this solution that would be useful for a lot of South Africans.
Thabo Mudau, thank you very much. Yes, Virgin Creatives is the company, right? Now, what gave birth to this lovely invention is the traditional way of transporting water from point A to point B, because you'd find people transporting water with a wheelbarrow using drums and so forth in different sizes. But sometimes during the way it falls and the spillage, and we're trying to save every little drop of water. Remember the advert, there will be a war, World War III. But this time, not of guns, of water. So we are there now, and now we're giving solution to that, all right? So this gave birth to this lovely baby. It's called a water wheelbarrow. It carries 100 liters of water. So this is where you insert your water. It's got a 125 milliliter opening. Now, this is big enough to fit in a hose from the water trucks, because sometimes there's water shedding. The municipality would disperse a water truck to assist people with water, but then it becomes a challenge when they have to assist people with different sizes of containers. Some with small, maybe 20, 1500, 5 liters of containers with a small opening, but the hose is too big. So it doesn't, serve the purpose, because you will still get the spillage when the water trucks leaves. But with this, the hose fits nicely, fitting your 100 liters of water, closed, no drop lost. And then you wheel it home. By the time you get home, you can easily drain it with a tap, put it in your cup or a small pot or whatever bucket that you may use, or a kettle, all right? And then, again, it also helps with equal distribution of water, because imagine a situation where there's a community of 2,000 people. Each household has got 100 liters of this water, this tank, all right? So what it means is that the municipality can be able to budget and say, okay, we know in this community we've got so many people who are using at least 100 liters of containers, so they can distribute equally the amount of water, all right? So that serves the purpose. But it does not only address the issue of just transporting water. The material we use to manufacture this product is food friendly. Okay, so you can store water up to 3 months without contamination or getting any algae. What it means to you is that we are also solving the issue of waterborne diseases, because that's where the challenge is, which brings about traffic to the hospitals. Absolutely. So we're appealing to all corporate companies with a CSI budget to come and support us, buy our product and support neediest communities, so that you can have an impact in needy communities.
No, thank you so much, Thabo. Thank you so much, Thabo, for talking to us, Iman. So dealing with several issues within the water sector. And here, another topic we've been covering quite recently is around food wastage and food security in the country. And I have here the founder of Oya Foods. Thank you so much, Sislebo, for talking to us. Quickly, just explain to us how this business came about and why why it's so important to food security and eliminating food wastage in the country. Some products I said I've never seen. I think I need to get myself in the kitchen a lot more. But quickly, just tell us about your business.
Okay, thank you. Welcome to our stand. This is Oya Foods. Oya is the Nigerian goddess of the winds of change, of disruption, of the women's marketplace, and you'll see why that makes sense in a while. So as you'll see here, we've got dried vegetables and dried fruit, and we started our business really with a mission for three things. One was, how do we elevate African indigenous food? So you'll see here we've got kale, spinach that we have, but we also have things like pumpkin leaves, sweet potato leaves, amaranth leaves that people don't know are edible, but our women farmers are growing and are very indigenous to Africa and South Africa at large. We also are on a mission of saying, how do we, I suppose, borrow from traditional ways of processing, which is really around drying. So we borrow from food preservation methods such as dehydration. So traditionally it's in the sun, so there's sun drying, but for us, because of compliance, we have dehydrators. And drying, besides the most amazing taste, it allows you to preserve food for longer without adding any additives, without adding any preservatives to it, so that you can keep a packet of spinach, for instance, or kale. Instead of throwing it away after 2 or 3 days, this packet lasts you for about 6 months. And if you can keep it dry. And then a big part of what we do and why we do it is about saying, how do we bring women along in the value chain as we grow, which is why Oya is the name. And so a large part of what we source in terms of raw materials, even services, is from women farmers, women suppliers, and we've started working with some, and as we grow, we want to grow with them. So we've got vegetables, we've got fruit that we've got here, dried fruit, dried vegetables. A packet like this of dried apples, for instance, is really delicious, so I wish you could taste it. But we've kept the apple peel of it here so that we don't waste the food, right? When we've got beetroot crisps like here, we also have beetroot leaves to show you that the entire plant is edible. But because you don't see it on the shop shelves of your traditional retailers, Spar, Pick n Pay, Woolworths, you think it's not edible. But our women are really, really growing that. And so we've really started with the vegetables, but we've expanded because we get excited with the dehydrator. And so we've got things like garnishes. Somebody came here and said this is their department. So this is like dried lime. We've got dried berries that you can put in your drinks. We've got powders for people. For instance, kale is great, but it's a very hard vegetable. But we've got things like kale powder, for instance, there that you can put in your smoothie, you can put in your soups, etc., and you get the vitamins, highly nutritious without really the taste. And then you can see things like teas here. This is 100% ginger infusions with spice. So unlike some of the teas that you see on the market where it says ginger, but it's sugar, this is actually really good for you. So with people, now that we've got winter coming along, this is what I'd encourage you to try. But I think our vision is around saying, how do we elevate what women are growing? How do we do it in a way that is socially responsible? Food wastage is a big thing for us, and in the way that we leverage traditional methods of drying, we're able to make you keep your food for longer, no preservatives, no additives, and so it's also good for you. And
thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, Levo. A very important point there, Iman, around that food wastage and how it really adds to that grocery bill at the end of the month. Vegetation, fruits not lasting quite as long as we'd wanted, especially with that 0.5 percentage points increase in VAT that we did see, being able to preserve our food without all the other additives in there where it's still healthy. An important feature that entrepreneurs here are looking at. And of course, that resilience for economic growth, Iman, having to do with then the entire value chain being localized. So Oya Foods doing that job of ensuring that in its value chain are those women farmers to grow the business. But we're here with another young women-owned business owner, the last one that we'll speak to for this segment, Iman. And I love chili, as you know. I'm always looking for chili for my family. So I said, let me try this. She did warn me that it's quite spicy. So I want to try some. Before I have some, just talk us through your business and how you got to this point.
Good day, thank you. My name is Prudence Maloka. Our business is Raverbad Sauce. We're an agro-processing company. Initially, we started as a catering company and deco. This is a birth of COVID, actually, because in COVID-19, when they said events are banned, we couldn't have any celebrations and stuff. Then we were not getting booked, we were not getting any business. Then we're like, well, how about we use our culinary skills and create something that we can sell on a daily basis and not wait to be booked. So I'll give you a taster of our chili relish. You can grab a cracker. All right. So this is full of flavor and heat. It's not just chili. So that heat, when it hits you on the body, you're not getting any sick. It's actually working as a body temperature regulator. So don't worry about it. It's really safe.
And what ingredients do you then use in your ogre processing, process? I really taste the flavors. That kick comes in very slowly, but the flavors come out. Just talk us through some of the ingredients that you invest in to make these varieties that we have here.
Well, we source all our raw materials from local farmers. So we collect the chilies from local farmers. We use peppers, we use onions, garlic, and herbs that also contribute to your health benefits.
Thank you so much for talking to us. So again, Iman, that resilience coming through COVID, shutting down their initial business of eventing, and then being creative to say, what else can we do that will not be limited by the COVID-19 pandemic? And that's really what the resilience of entrepreneurs looks like, looking in the community and saying what solutions can they come up with. And that's why it's been so important for Proudly South Africa to really highlight the role that small, medium-sized enterprises play in the economy, because while they are small and medium and emerging, Iman, the impact that they have on the ground in terms of job creation and finding those solutions from the economy, from the communities rather, is something that we've really seen highlighted here on the exhibition floor. We are going to hear from the private sector as well, Iman, established companies such as South 32, as we did hear yesterday, that the private sector also has a responsibility through their enterprise development and supplier development to ensure that they also allow these small businesses to be able to scale, as we heard from Virgin Creatives, calling on the private sector to actually purchase those wheelbarrows that enables communities to collect water and be able to preserve water, which is a scarce resource, working with women farmers as well, as we heard from Ayo Foods. But we'll give you that update a little bit later on how large companies in the private sector are actually then also ensuring that they do localize within their value chains, Iman.
Ntokozo Khumalo, live for us there at the Proudly South African Buy Local Summit. Still ahead.